Hi friends, welcome back to 3 Barrow Farm. My name is Amy and it's been a week since the cockatoos have destroyed some plants in my garden and they've been back. So I suspect they've been back on the days that I've been working outside of the home, which is highly annoying because I haven't, as you can see, I haven't gotten all of the rows covered with netting or frost cloth yet. So that is my aim today, is to get it all covered. It's been a busy week, so I just haven't been in the garden as much as I've wanted to be, but today is sunny and I'm keen on getting it done. So I wish I had a microphone that I had on me, but I haven't got one yet, so hopefully you can hear me. I've got this pipe that we aren't using on the farm anymore, so I'm going to use more of this because I found some more. I've got this big reel here, so I'm going to make some more of these hoops, and I'm using these bits of off-cut Rio. As you can see, I've got Rio walls down 3 of my beds actually, and so these are, I don't know where these ones came from, whether they were the in-between parts to the walls, but I'm using these. So basically one part goes directly into the ground, these two help stabilize it, and the pipe goes down like that. So I have one on either side and this helps keep it in place, and that works really well. I've tried with wire as well. As you can see back there are some wire ones I've still got, but the wire doesn't work as well as this. This just keeps the fabric from ripping and tearing, I believe. The wire can just be a bit harsher and wear out the fabric a bit more. So I'm gonna cut out some more of these and I'm gonna protect the plants that I'm most worried about first, and if I have enough I'll be able to do the entire gardens. And so my gardens are going to be a complete sea of netting and frost cloth, but at least we'll get some food hopefully at the end of this. Can you hear them? Those cockatoos, they're flying around. So I've moved on from putting in the hoops. I'm just weeding at the moment, and I thought I'd talk to you about what I'm planting this month. But first, I wanted to show you some of my irrigation pipe. The dogs did this. So there were a few rodents or rodent smells anyway. We didn't end up finding any, but there were a few homes that were built. I don't know how long they lived in the veggie patch for, but they were around in summer last year, and the dogs started digging, trying to follow their scent, and this was in the way. So they've chewed it up. So I need to repair all of this damage, which I pretty much need to take out maybe a few meters of piping, a couple of meters, which is okay because we just use this really cheap pipe, and then we put the drippers in to the pipe. So the drippers are the more expensive part of this pipe. But I need to do that soon because I've been hand watering everything because all the lines are joint together with this. So when I put the irrigation on, all the water just flows out of this. And that's a pain, a big pain. Anyway, I'm going to move this out of the way so I can weed this patch. But I don't know if you can see behind me on the slanted garden bed, but I have weeded all the way down here. And I'm cutting the grass as I go along to make the, solid line between where the grass is and where the bed is. So let's talk about what I'm planting in August. Okay, so I'm just going to continue weeding this patch here and tell you what I'm planting. So we are in cool zone in Australia, so in the cool zone. There is cool and warm and temperate and subtropical in Australia. So I'm pretty sure they're all of the areas, and we are in the cool region. So our frost dates can vary, but pretty much November is our last month that it can frost here. Because we're on a bit of a hill, we do, and we're quite open here, we don't have a lot of bush around us, we get colder. So we get the frosts when no one else gets the frosts. So we really have to protect our plants. So I'm planting all sorts of things this month. I'm mainly planting everything in seedling trays, and I've got them inside in our solar passive house, which lets in all of the north-facing sunshine that we are getting, and it stays really nice and warm. I don't need to use any heat mats or anything like that. It basically just stays perfectly warm. And my tomato seeds that my daughter planted on Saturday or Sunday. So it's not even been a week yet, or it has basically been a week, and they've already started to sprout. So that's pretty exciting. And so we've planted some tomato seeds. I think we've planted 2 of each of the tomato varieties that we want to plant, and I want to do more. I want to do lots more because I want to grow enough to provide tomatoes to friends and family as well as ourselves. We've just started off with a few plants, and I will do a bit of a succession planting of the tomatoes up to a certain point. I'll talk more about tomatoes in a separate video, I think. But yeah, we are planting tomatoes. Hello. I'm going to plant, and I'm going to be planting in this area in particular. My dogs have come over to say hi. Hopefully they don't make too much noise. Okay, they've run away, so that's fine. So I'm going to be planting potatoes, and I have a various range of potatoes. One thing I learnt recently and I didn't realise was the seed potatoes that we buy, and everyone probably already knows this, but for some reason I did not know this. But the seed potatoes that we buy are grown from the seed of the plant, and that's why they have resistance to pests, and it's probably why I had some issues with my potatoes that I planted from the shop. So I just planted potatoes that started to show their eyes, and I have done this many times before, but I'm interested to see if I let some of my potatoes go this year and go to seed. I'm interested in raising my own potato seed. So stay tuned for that. We'll see if I end up doing that. But I am interested in maybe following up with that and seeing how that goes. But in the meantime, I have purchased lots of seed potatoes, and I'll be planting those this month and next month. It just depends on room. I really want to make more room in my garden. All right, I'm gonna have to move the camera now because I've got to move over a bit. Okay, so other things that I'm planting. I didn't plant any broad beans in autumn, so I'm planting some now. So broad beans are something that you can plant in the cool region, so I'm giving them a go. I've never planted them this late. I've always planted them for a winter crop or a spring crop. So we'll see how we go. The roosters are competing. And I'm having a go. I haven't planted brassicas in spring for a summer crop in quite a few years, and so I'm going to give this a go this year. I have done some broccolis and some cabbages, so we'll see how they go. I've also planted kale seeds and lots of different lettuces as well, and some spinach too. And I'm planning on planting some onion seed in the ground at some point. I have been decanting one of my compost bins and putting them on all the fennel that I transplanted from the pathways, and so I have those in there, and I've been putting the compost around them. And so I want to put some compost out to plant my onion seeds. I haven't really decided on where, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to put some down at the end of this row, and then I'll put another patch somewhere else. But I'm mainly thinking about the potatoes at the moment because they are something we eat a lot of. Okay, and the last things that I have planted, and I'm going to have to go and check on that egg because it sounds like a chicken has laid an egg. The last things I have planted are spring onions. I have done many different spring onions. I'll probably put on the screen the types of everything that I have planted. Basically all my seed comes from Diggers or Eden seeds or Happy Valley seeds. I've also planted out some calendula in trays, and I'm going to do some marigolds as well. So I'm definitely going to be doing some flowers. I've noticed that my sweet peas are coming up where I planted them last year, and I have lots of calendula that I've been pulling out because there's only so much calendula you need. I do need a lot. I do harvest a lot of calendula, but I like to put new plants in every now and then, and I've got lots of poppies coming up as well, which are mainly in the vegetable plot number 3. So yeah, I'm just working on, I've just noticed there's all these ants coming up in this patch where I'm just pulling the grass. It is hot enough for the ants to come out, and Jackie is very intrigued by them. So forgive me for wearing my sun hat and my sunglasses. I'll just end up squinting all the time if I don't wear them, and I get sunburnt really easily, so I have to be very conscious of the fact that I do. And sitting here in front of the camera, I just have to wear these things to try and keep the sun off. So there's quite a few things that I'm planting this month, but not everything. I'm trying to follow what the Diggers Club website says to plant. So I shall pop the link in the description below. kind of have done that the last couple of years and it's worked out really well. Except last year I rushed ahead and did the eggplants and capsicums and those sort of things earlier, and I think doing them earlier stunted their growth because it was just still too cold. And by the time I planted them out, it was still cold. So yeah, I'm gonna play around with that and see how I go, but I'm definitely gonna be putting the frost cloth over the top of the plants. And I've already noticed a massive difference between all of the plants that are under these frost cloths now and the ones that are outside of them. I've noticed a huge difference of growth just in 1 week. So this is reminding me, and a lesson to be learnt, that I should be using the frost cloth all through winter, because these plants could have been excelling so much better than they are out in the cold. And because we're so open here and it's so cold, every single night it's just stunting their growth. And yeah, so I'm definitely going to be using these frost cloths. I don't like these cloths, okay? So don't go out and buy these green ones from Bunnings. They don't last very long. But I didn't want to take the ones that I'd taken out of the package and used. I didn't want to take these ones back because they're just going to chuck them. And I'd rather keep using them and trying to, you know, keep them going for as long as I can. Oh, there's a bee. Hello, bee. Yeah, rather try and keep them going for as long as I can than to know that they're just being thrown into landfill. So I'm really impressed with the way that they keep everything nice and warm and all that, and they keep the moisture in. So when I've just pulled out some fennel. When I water, they help retain the water in the garden as well. So they've been really good. It's just that they break down quite fast, so they're not ideal. I wouldn't buy them. I'd try some of the other brands, maybe the white ones. I'm definitely going to try some other brands soon. I'm just going to see how much I've got. I've got quite a lot that I opened up last year and used. So I'm going to use all of those first before I go and buy anything else. And I've also got some netting. So I did purchase some new netting because I wanted to compare this new netting to some older stuff that we had in the shed. And I wanted to make sure the diameter was correct as well, because I know that changed quite a few years ago. And I haven't really used netting very much, but I got this netting from Bunnings. It's 10 meters by 4 meters, which is perfect because our rows they're around 8 meters long, I believe. And the 4 meters means that it can go over the hoop and you can support it with the bricks on either side. And you've got plenty at the ends to sort of pull it in and keep it nice and firm. So I'm going to get back to all of this gardening that I'm doing, but I just wanted to fill you in with what I'm planting this month. And I will be doing a garden tour soon. I would like to do a weekly tour while it's the massive growing season. I call it the growing season because we grow a lot of food in summer. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can manage to do a tour each week and show you the development. If there's not a huge amount of difference, then I definitely will be doing it fortnightly and do a different sort of video, just talk about all sorts of things that are happening on the homestead here. But it's getting exciting. I'm really, really excited when it comes to this time of the year and the prospects and the plans. It's just going to be a great year. I can tell. Hopefully. Hopefully it'll be a good year. Do you think it's going to be a good year, Luna? Yeah, and I'm hoping that my netting and frost cloth are going to be okay with the dogs doing what they do, running around. So far, it's been okay. But I have no plans to fence off the garden from the dogs. They would hate being away from me while I'm out here anyway, so we shall see how we go. But that's always a challenge as well, is the animals of all types, wild and domestic. Hey? Also the chickens, definitely having the netting and the frost cloth up over the main rows. So I do have the Rio rows, and I have put the frost cloth, and I will put frost cloth on them, especially when they have the tomatoes, the tomato plants on them. But yeah, they will keep the chickens when a random chicken sort of comes over the fence and gets into my garden and just causes havoc. They will definitely keep them away from doing all of that, won't they? Hey? So I would love to hear from you. Please comment below and let me know what you're planting this month of August and what region you are in Australia. I love hearing what other people have successes with this early on in the growing season. Oh, I forgot to mention too that I have planted some radishes because my youngest daughter, she is really eager for things to harvest in the garden, and for things to grow fast, and she's the one who wanted to plant the broad beans, so she has planted broad beans both in some punnets and in the garden as well. So she wanted to plant something that would grow and crop fast. So we've got some radishes in the garden, in the punnets as well, and we're going to plant those out pretty soon because they came up pretty much straight away. Within a couple of days they had germinated, and hi babe. And so we've got those to plant out once the second leaves have sprung out. Have sprouted, and she will be happy to be harvesting radishes to have in her lunches and harvesting something from the garden, because it does feel a bit like that, like you're eager to actually harvest something. And I don't have any peas. I really lacked in planting in autumn, and I plan to do the complete opposite this year and this next year, and actually plant things in autumn at the correct times and get them under frost cloth, get them away, and hopefully have a better harvest, because I've had such great winter harvests in the past, but it was just, I guess, too busy. Life was too busy at that point, and I couldn't. And you just have to go with the flow sometimes. These things happen. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you next time, everyone. Happy gardening. I hope you get some time out in the garden. It is just beautiful weather that we're having. See you next time.